In a serene valley surrounded by rolling green hills, the air was alive with the hum of summer. Bright wildflowers in shades of yellow, pink, and violet dotted the grass. Butterflies fluttered from bloom to bloom. Near the heart of the valley, a family had spread a red and white checkered blanket beneath a towering oak tree. The family laughed and enjoyed their picnic, savoring sandwiches, fruits, and cookies. When the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a warm golden glow over the valley, the family packed up their belongings. In their excitement, they left behind their large, woven picnic basket, still holding bits of crumbs, fruit slices, and a particularly large cookie. Not far from the picnic site, a bustling anthill stood hidden among the tall grass. Inside, Andy the leader ant, a sleek black ant with long antennae and a determined gaze, paced thoughtfully. Food supplies had dwindled, and the colony was growing restless. Just as Andy was about to call for a meeting, Annie the clever ant scurried in, her eyes sparkling.
"Andy,"
She exclaimed.
"I saw something amazing! A picnic basket left behind by the humans!"
Andy's antennae twitched with interest.
A basket, you say? That could be the solution to our problem.
Tommy the strong ant, who had been flexing his powerful legs nearby, overheard and marched over.
If there's food to be moved, count me in.
He said confidently. Lila the small ant, petite and light brown, listened from a corner. She was shy and often doubted her abilities, but something about the excitement in Annie's voice made her curious. The team of 4 set out at dawn. The journey was filled with challenges. Tall blades of grass that swayed in the breeze, tiny stones that seemed like boulders, and uneven patches of dirt. Yet the ants pressed on, with Andy leading the way. When they reached the picnic site, the basket loomed over them like a towering castle. Its woven wooden structure gleamed in the sunlight, and the scent of leftover food wafted through the air, making their tiny mouths water.
Wow!
Lila whispered, her eyes wide.
It's so big.
Andy inspected the basket thoughtfully.
We'll need a plan to move it closer to the anthill. Everyone, gather around.
Tommy stepped forward, his confidence shining as brightly as the morning sun.
I'll move it myself.
He declared. He dug his strong legs into the ground and pushed with all his might. The basket wobbled slightly, but didn't budge. Tommy stepped back, panting. His face, usually filled with pride, now showed frustration.
It's heavier than I thought.
That's okay.
Andy said reassuringly.
We'll figure it out together.
Gathered in the shade of a dandelion, Andy explained his plan.
Tommy, you'll use your strength to push. Annie, search for anything we can use as tools. Lila, you'll climb inside and pass out the food. I'll coordinate everything.
Annie's antennae twitched with excitement.
A liver might work,
She said, and scurried off to find a stick. Tommy nodded, determination returning to his face. Lila, though nervous, straightened up.
I'll do my best.
She said softly. Annie returned with a thin but sturdy stick she found near the tree.
This will act as a lever.
She explained, positioning it under the edge of the basket. The ants worked together, their faces scrunched up with effort. Slowly, the basket began to tilt and move. Tommy exclaimed,
We're doing it.
his voice full of triumph. Once the basket was in a better position, Lila climbed inside. The interior was like a treasure trove to her. Crumbs glistened like golden jewels, slices of red apple gleamed in the light, and the giant cookie looked like a sandy brown moon. Lila's face lit up with awe. Carefully, she began lifting crumbs and dropping them over the edge. Outside, Annie and Tommy formed a line with the other ants who had joined them, each carrying pieces back to the anthill. When Lila reached the giant cookie, she struggled to move it.
It's too big,
She called. Andy and Tommy climbed in to help. Together, they pushed and rolled the cookie to the edge, where the team below caught it. Just as they were finishing, dark clouds rolled in, and the wind picked up. The basket swayed, threatening to tip over. Andy called out,
Everyone, push together. Fast.
The ants pressed their legs into the ground, their faces filled with determination. Rain began to fall, but they didn't stop. With one final push, they moved the basket to the entrance of the anthill. Inside the anthill, the food was divided equally. The ants gathered around the pile, their faces glowing with happiness. Andy stood on a small mound and addressed the colony.
Today we've shown what teamwork can achieve.
He said,
Each of you played a vital role. Tommy's strength, Annie's cleverness, and Lila's bravery all made this possible.
Lila beamed with pride, realizing she had overcome her fears. Tommy nodded, understanding that strength wasn't enough without teamwork. Annie smiled, her bright eyes reflecting the joy of problem-solving. The picnic basket became a meeting place for the ants, decorated with leaves and petals. The younger ants listened eagerly as the story of teamwork was retold, their eyes wide with admiration. As the sun set, casting a warm golden glow over the valley, the ants rested, proud of what they had accomplished. Andy's words echoed in their minds. Together, we can achieve the impossible. And so, the ants of the valley learned the true power of teamwork, a lesson they carried with them for generations.